In this program, we'll be showing you how to take your children's 2D artwork one step further by helping them create their own animated films. It's much simpler than it sounds and works well as a cross-curricular activity. We'll be following two teachers at nearby schools who have committed to bringing animation into their classrooms as part of a more creative curriculum.
How you imagine him.
Both teachers have approached the challenge in very different ways.
Oh, the clouds are moving!
You've seen this maze and then, didn't you?
That's fantastic. Well,
That's good.
It's 3:30 in the afternoon at Fair Furlong School in Bristol, and Years 3 and 4 teacher Vicky Cleaves is running an animation after-school club for a small group of children.
In front of the snowy mountains, the penguin race was about to start. Crowds were flowing in. The starter penguin placed the flag in his beak and whoosh.
that's nice.
Penguins go underwater and have a wet soppy kiss. Floating back up, kissing in a love heart, crowd goes ah.
That's a really nice finish. Well done. The trick with animation is to keep it as simple as possible, especially when you're just starting out, which with children, you know, they want to put a bouncing ball in and they want to have a hockey game and, you know, they want to do too many things at once. But fortunately, some of the children have had some experience of animation before. So they were able to remember how simple they needed to keep the ideas in their planning session.
The children split into two groups. Vicky is working with the penguin group.
OK, so in here you've got in front of the snowy mountains.
And LSA Lynn Mays is helping the pelican group.
Yeah, that's going to be great. So do you want to cut that out and see how you think it looks?
At this stage, making animation is no different to any other art class, apart from the fact that all along the children have to imagine how their characters will move against the backgrounds.
Thank you, Georgia, that was really kind. Right, we need to sort out your pelican, don't we? Cliff, what can we do for Cliff? I can do an actual rock if you want a real cliff. Grab that over there behind the watering can. Do you want a real cliff? If I can figure out some way of making that show up on the camera, would you like that?
No.
We need to get as many textures into this as we possibly can.
This?
The important thing for me about animation is the range of ability of children who can access it. Irrespective of their level of reading or writing or anything else, they can express their thoughts and ideas in a visual format that everybody can respond to. Obviously, art doesn't need to be perfect. We can make an idea of something. You know, we've got a penguin, we'll cut a bit of foam out here and we'll stick some eyes on there and that'll, you know, it kind of works.
This, like a mountain.
Yep, we're definitely getting there. We need to now use the blue cellophane stuff to get our water, don't we?
Yeah.
We're getting there. We are getting there. He's looking really good. Right, girls, I think we might be ready to start doing some animation.
Once the characters and backgrounds have been made, it's time to start animating. Vicky has set up a filming set with a camera on a tripod which is connected to a laptop by a firewire lead. The stage is set with a light box, which is optional, and two angle-poised lamps to provide light from above.
That looks alright though.
The laptop is equipped with an animation software package. There are several on the market, which start at about £30.
Camera. Is it pointing to the word camera? Because it's very technical and hands-on, it's very difficult to work with a larger group than, say, 15, 16 children, again with two adults. Once you get more technical and crafty and building your animation, your sets and things like that, it's much easier to work with a smaller group. He's slightly off camera, isn't he?
The children move their characters just a tiny bit each time, taking pictures as they go. When all these still pictures are played back, it will appear as if the characters are moving. Vicky has not got this far alone. She is part of a creative partnership scheme, bringing animation into different schools in the area. Another participating school is nearby Bishopsworth Junior, and today the filmmaker and animator running the scheme, Kari Nygaard, is working with Year 6 children and their teacher, Susie Azari.
It started really with the Year 6 transition unit, work that Year 6 children do as they're moving up to Year 7. And one of the things that they do is a reading log for a book called Kazuki's Kingdom, which features a Japanese character. And it was such a wonderful book, and it fired up the children's imagination so much. You know, I decided last year that I wanted to do a bit more with it, and it just seemed that this would be a really, really good opportunity to do that.
Basically, it's about 3 samurais. One of them's lying there because he's knocked out. Princess goes out there. The princess gets strangled. Princess is knocked out. And the other 2 samurais have a fight with the thing that strangled them, which is the robot.
We're going to get a wave. Someone's going to draw it. Then we're going to get a boot, like wobble it and rotate it. Then we're going to get another layer of sea and then make it move with the boot.
Then Suki comes on and shoots damage out, which means no fire. And
He's Japanese.
yeah, he stamps the fire out.
And Michael doesn't know what he's saying. He's Japanese. And he just stamps out the fire and walks away.
Ours is about Kazuki when he comes back. And he's going to be all confused because we're going to have like a robot going round and he's going to travel by the bullet train.
But make separate bits like I told you to do last time. Then maybe you can make a few separate heads with different expressions.
The benefit of having an artist working in the classroom is that she can bring in all kinds of different ideas and techniques.
That's a good idea. And I got a knife with me so we can cut very neatly around here so it doesn't show.
Susie, she found some of the work quite challenging. Sometimes it is quite daunting. There's new software to learn. You have to learn how to use cameras. It's learning by doing, basically. It's trial and error. So she's learning alongside the children at the moment, which is great.
Well, I mean, before I met Kari, I'd never even have thought about doing animation with children. I just didn't actually think that it was possible. So it's really fantastic to have someone who is an expert to say, look, this is how I do it, this is how you could do it, and that was great.
Whereas Vicky is running her after-school club as 10 two-hour sessions, Susie has opted to run her animation classes as 3 entire days.
Working with a whole class and delivering within the curriculum, if you like, needs to be planned thoroughly. And it is a challenge because sometimes, you got 30 children in a class and you're going to keep them active on a subject for a very long time, because that's the thing with animation. You can try to split it up, but the focus needs to be there fully sometimes for a whole day, which is a challenge.
The way Susie has organised her class is to split it into 6 different teams.
Sort of organising it, I wondered at first how it would work, especially with the whole class, but what we did was to set up production teams where each child has got a clearly defined role, and that really helped. And what we found is that children who did the first animation were so clued up, they were then able to sort of help other children. It kind of cascaded on, so there's a transference of skills.
The slower you move it, the smoother the movement will be, the longer it will be as well. Brilliant.
Alex?
Okay.
Back at Fair Furlong, the children are confident enough to go it alone.
You shouldn't move it too much, otherwise the animation won't look very good. You got to move it just a little bit.
That's it. Now actually tip his head down now so he looks like he's beginning to dive down.
When Georgia moves the pentagon, I takes the picture and does it twice. So then it what? So then it takes the pictures now. When you've done all the pictures, it shows the animation.
Every year we have a camp for Year 3-4 children on the weekend, Year 5-6 children during the week. And during the week, last year we had a visiting artist that we brought in as a school, and this year my head teacher said to me, as you've done all this animation training, Vicky, would you like to be our visiting artist? So basically I talked to Kari about it because my biggest concern was working with a group of children who'd never done animation before, and the pressure to produce something at the end of a 2-hour slot, which even those children who have done it before is quite a complex thing to do. So we talked about different ideas and what we could do, and we came up with doing a remake of Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer video, and we had a go. I did 4 sessions of that, so every child who came to camp was able to produce some sort of animation. So that was 48 children who've now experienced animation.
There's great excitement as the Pelican team watch their film back.
Fantastic. Do it again.
Only 2 people made that animation as well.
It's fantastic to actually see what wonderful imaginations the children have got. Because, you know, write a story, but it has to be on myths and legends. Or do some artwork, but it needs to be on portraits. To give them a free rein to say, hey, you've got a laptop, you've got a video camera, you've got some resources, some materials, you come up with an idea. I was worried at camp they wouldn't come up with them, and they just blew me away with what they had.
The group at Bishopsworth are also ready to watch their work back.
Is that okay?
Of course, you know the story.
Yeah.
It might look okay to you, but I think it's extremely fast. So this is how, if you know, now I'm clicking now, frame by frame, what you've done, okay? So this is how quickly you moved him, look. That's really quick. That's the first thing you've ever done like this, I think is really good. But I think that you need to move much, much slower. And plan it out properly, thinking how many seconds is going to be before he goes to the stone. Maybe that's 3 seconds. So that's how slow you move him. So you need to do the maths then, Steph.
Should we start again?
You just think it a little bit about.
Are we starting again then?
I think you should start again. I've saved this.
What's special with animation is that it brings so many different elements of learning into it. You got the ICT side, you got the arts side, you got maths, and it makes learning fun.
Look how lovely the textures are. Now you know what to do, don't you? You know what not to do as well.
The result of this enterprise between Kari and these teachers is that Creative Partnerships have formed a learning group, run by Kari, for teachers from a local cluster of schools. The teachers get time out every 3 to 4 weeks to learn new techniques and share ideas.
Well, this is work with 5-year-olds. Their topic is water. So we put together a little film yesterday afternoon using background. They painted fish made from fabrics, and they did this in about 30 minutes yesterday.
The purpose of the learning group is the creation of a learning pack for teachers. All the sessions have been evaluated by the teachers and the children, and their opinions and ideas have been fed into the pack. There is a DVD with films, a CD-ROM with examples, and pages to download for the classroom, as well as a learning booklet available from Creative Partnerships Bristol. It has taken 3 full days to get there, and now at last the Bishopsworth animation teams finally get the chance to share their films with each other.
I've had my mind opened up to all the possibilities, and I think I'm actually desperate to carry on and do some other things. Now I know what can be done, I actually just don't want to stop. The whole idea of children can produce an animation, something they see on TV every single day, they can do that. It's just fantastic.